Hello everyone, this is Suntin2. Welcome to another mod overview, this time on Cogs of the Machine, a simple mod that allows you to have cogs, steam, utilities and tools in it. Use a wooden crank to power a pendulum with wooden cogs, and if you need assistance with them, a wooden rod, as you can see here. So you place cogs on the, if I can get my mouse here, on the specific point here, outlined, and from there you can power up a pounder for rocks that you can throw at mobs, other recipes like string, ores, wood, and what you really need for progression is compressed clay into a clay stone block, which you can see plastered around here, and for a foundry, which is good for alloying to galvanize iron, as well as make ingots from fragments and plates for certain specific things like later cog wheels, as well as other components in the mod. Got the different fragments and compatibility options, as well as tungsten not being available, but copper and zinc I think found around about level 40 in the world. Foundry, obviously, I'm using zinc and iron in the top here to galvanize it, but otherwise you can go between plates and ingots with the buttons simply, and you just put fragments or otherwise into here or in a simple furnace alternative, and you can make plates like so, which will use half the liquid in the an ingot's worth of liquid. The other cogwheels have a purpose for the sake of speed and speed loss that you can use, but otherwise you will mostly need gold or brass to make steam related blocks. To power up specific things like a servo table as an alternate crafting table for the specific tools and utilities, a winding bench for the charging, a mechanical saw for harming mobs in mob farms, not for interacting with blocks, and a fan that can push mobs 8 blocks away. Otherwise, the specific outlining of the steam motor, the cogs, detectors and switches obviously can be used in between some of these to allow for possibilities or necessary use of them, and sprinklers, as well as steam generators can have other mods water pipes connected to them to keep them filled up, but I'm not too sure on the compatibility due to some aspects of the mod not being interactable with other mods, but I'm pretty sure you can from experience, unless I'm mistaken. Otherwise, the other aspects of the mod, like the gyrometer, you can use to measure cogs from the strength, the RPM currently, and otherwise. The cogs will, when crafting something simple like a clockwork cane, change up what they need to for their required process. Just break that there, and that'll do its own thing. Okay, so that was going off of that, that's why. It is also important to know what's interacting with what when certain blocks are in use. Otherwise, we've got the tools like the clockwork pick, which you can use to break ores, as well as dirt like a shovel, or you can just simply mine and it'll be above diamond level. Portable saw can be used to break blocks, or harm mobs, sort of like a sword or otherwise. And yes, there is a reason why I'm placing the blocks this way, is because the saw will actually trail them. Up to a certain point, of course. And the mobs can also be harmed by the portable saw, but not by the clockwork pick. At least not from my experience, at least. No. The rivet gun can use rivets, which are usually crafting components, into a projectile use. There is actually rusted ones that you can find in dungeon chests. I'm not sure about other loot tables like desert temples and jungle temples and otherwise, but you can also make these if you wish, which will give a poison effect of sorts. I'm pretty sure. So, I'll just try again there. I'm not too sure on the damage values of each rivet, but either way, if you wanted multiple alternatives to use said rivets, you can. Otherwise, wind up trinket is pretty much a component used for the crafting of these. I don't know if you can actually use these to charge them up, but I'm pretty sure it's just used as a crafting component that when probably fully charged, you can probably have a fully charged version of these that you don't have to put into the winding bench after you've successfully crafted it, because this will already have charge in it anyways when placing the crafting there. The pounding hammer can break blocks into the alternatives or into fragments, more so specifically for certain ones that give ingots. And it'll vary dependent on similar aspects like the pounder, due to it also being in its recipe as well. I'm pretty sure, unless it's always 2. No, there you go, 2 and then a 1. Otherwise, there's the portable fan, which pushes mobs away, similar to the other one. A knockback of sorts. Certain amounts of power will be used in these. I'm pretty sure it's mostly 1, but it depends on each one, of course. The liquid drainer is pretty much a 10 bucket in 1 type utility. This also works for lava as well. And you can then put it into things like so, with interacting, or just putting in the slot like so where the bucket would go. The folding ruler, you can measure certain block distances away. Wooden box, when you put items in it, it can be a portable storage, but it will use durability every time you open it. So for example, used, open it again, also used, and it will break completely. Otherwise, clockwork cane is pretty much another wooden crank, and I'm pretty sure that's it, except for the extending arm, which is for interacting with cogs, as well as other inventories from a distance. Otherwise, if there's anything I missed, let me know, but I'm pretty sure that covers everything in the mod, besides, transporting things in Steam, in like a battery form sort of equivalent, the other components, detectors, and yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.